Hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great Wednesday, because that's what today is, right? And that's what today the video is going up as, right? Sure. So, I hope your week's going awesome. We're in the middle of it. We're almost to the end, right? If you own a small business, though, your business is never closed. You're always on the clock. So when you're with your family, when you're on vacation, there's something always going, right? So that's the mind of an entrepreneur. You're always thinking, always innovating, doing something else. Not that it takes away from your life, but as long as you're doing something that actually improves your home life, that's where we need to be, right? That's the point of entrepreneurship. So I just want to talk a little bit about networking, because this morning I had a couple of meetings at the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce, one with the Leads Group and one with the Small Business Association, and came across with some great information I hope to relay to you guys in a few videos across the page in the next couple of weeks. So I was saying one of the things I want to talk about is when you think about a professional, think about what it is that you do for your business. Or think about, if you don't own a business, think about somebody that you've hired before to do a service for you. Why did you hire that person? Why didn't you just do it yourself? And so one of the questions that the Small Business Association asked this morning was, how many here actually works on their own cars? Nobody raised their hands. And it says, well, there was a time when, you could actually do that yourself. I mean, there's still people, there's a few that still work on their own cars, but now they manufacture them to where it's almost impossible to get to this little part that you need to replace because it's underneath a big chunk of metal and manifold and I don't know cars. So there's stuff in there I just don't know. But so you hire a specialist because they have the tools, they have the insight, they know exactly how to get in there, how to keep from damaging other things, and get in there at a minimum cost. It's going to cost you something, of course, but if you think about the money that you're spending so that this specialist can do this job for you, it brings in more income, if that makes sense, by doing that. So think about it this way. Let's think of the other side. If you're thinking about how much you can save by doing this job yourself, it just pales in comparison of how much that you're actually leaving on the table that you could be making if you would have just paid this one specialist to take care of the job, which frees you up to come up with new ideas or to spend time with customers, make new sales. And so if you're a small business owner, or even if you're a big business owner and you're still trying to do everything yourself, it's just impossible. You cannot focus and spread yourself that thin. And so that's why there are specialists in each area. So your website being one of them. Of course, I was going to talk about that, right? I'm a web designer. So your website is very important. And so this is how I think about websites, just to put it in perspective. It's kind of like if your business is a house. If you're a business, if you are an artist, or if you're a nonprofit, same concept. If you have this big house, right? Your website is the front entrance. That's the room where you come in and you're greeted and you get a feel for how the rest of the house is decorated, right? Because that first room is really important for setting the mood of how the rest of the house is actually set up and decorated. And it's not just a visual aesthetic. It's, how's it feel? What does it smell like? What is the sense that I get from this place? How well set up is it? Are there cracks in the walls? Is there mold growing on the floor? Or is it like really immaculate, really great paint job? And it smells nice. There's cinnamon rolls in the oven. It's wafting. So and so that's the whole point. That sets the mood of, it determines whether someone's going to walk in and walk back out, or if they're going to walk in and want to stay for a really long time and grab one of those cinnamon rolls because they're delicious and they're buttery and they're hot. So that's why you want to hire a specialist, because you wouldn't just hire. You just wouldn't do that yourself, because if you're not a painter and you try to paint, anybody that's tried to do that, they know the disaster that ends up as, right? And so if this is your website, this is the first initial impression that you're going to get on future customers, you're going to want a professional to actually design that thing so that they can use their experience and their insight to make it work. There's no magical algorithm to show you how many sales you're going to make or how much money you're going to make off of this, but it's been proven that people will come in and actually enjoy the experience they get from somebody that knows what they're doing, so that we can reflect your brand in a way that's professional and perfect. As perfect as it gets anyway. And so there's, on the other side of that, there's also social media, which is another entrance to the house, but it usually just runs right into the living room. Let's say you just bypassed everything else and just walked right into the living room, where all the social activities are happening, right? This is where all your friends are sitting around on the couches, they're drinking martinis and eating cheese crackers, right? So that's kind of how I see social media. But if you really want to feel for the house, you walk into that first room, the ante room. That's where you're received, and you can hang your coat up. You can start relaxing and get a feel for the house. If you're just going straight to the living room, it's sort of chaotic, and you have to have a sense of familiarity with the place already. If that does that analogy work for anyone? I don't know. Let me know in the contents. And so that's kind of how I see your business. And so the rest of the house, of course, is all the other intricate parts of your business and what you actually do. So once we get past the ante room or the living room, we can get into where all the magic happens for your side and what you do, especially. So yeah, and just a couple other things. Well, just one more thing, and then before I go, I just want to show you about graphic design and how much of a part of that is in web design. So somebody gave me this picture. And they wanted me to turn it into a logo. So this happened a couple of weeks ago, right? So how do you turn this photo into a logo for their duck hunting club, right? So I took it and I did my magic to it, and this is what we came up with. I know. He loves it. He's happy. I'm happy. We exchanged, the services. I was paid for the job. I created the logo and did what he asked for it, and he's incredibly happy for it. I mean, that's how it's supposed to go. You pay your professional to do the professional job that you can't do by yourself. And so anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed week, and we will be back tomorrow. I'll upload another video, hopefully, as long as there's time. Tonight I got a lot of activities I'm gonna be doing and promoting for hiking services once again. And but lots of great things coming up in the future, and I can't wait to let everyone in on that. And let me know what you think about these videos. So leave some comments. Let me know if there's a certain topic that you want to cover, something you've been wondering about small business or even web design. I'd be happy to let you know, what I know about it anyway. I don't have all the answers to everything, but I have answers to some things. So maybe you can ask some questions and I can answer those. So. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll upload tomorrow.